Okay, so step one is be clear in your vision, and essentially you can't get to where you want to be unless you know where it is you're headed. So this is all about getting clarity over what it is you want to manifest into your life, what you want to achieve, but most importantly, who you want to become. And I think that's the greatest gift of manifestation, is that it helps you step into the character of the person that you want to be. It allows you to unlock your most empowered self. And in that feeling of empowerment, you're able to create the life that you really deserve. Step two is remove fear and doubt. So I believe that, for all of us, what stands in the way of us and our dreams and the things that we desire is fear and doubt. And that's a culmination of our insecurities, low self-worth, limiting beliefs. And this is really a sort of process of undoing the damage that has been done. And this is kind of what we were touching on earlier, which is the starting to work on that self-love, self-belief, and it's an ongoing process, and I think that's what makes manifesting a self-development practice. It's why healing is so essential to this book. And actually, in my second book, Manifest Dive Deeper, it does go quite a lot more into the healing process required for this. And I should mention actually that the reason this stuff is the most important is because the secret of manifesting is that we manifest what we subconsciously believe we are worthy of receiving. So yeah, it's the hardest step, but the most important. Step three is then align your behavior. And I think this is the step that often gets forgotten, because you can't just visualize what you want and then wait for it to happen. There is no shortcuts here. This isn't magic, although it feels magical. This really is about taking action. And this step is exactly that. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone, taking risks, showing up as your future self, and thinking about, what would my future self do day to day? What would their routines be? What habits would they commit to? How would they allow others to treat them? What boundaries would they have? And I think this is such an important step. This is really about momentum and motivation and discipline. Step four is overcome tests from the universe. So this is my favorite step, because manifesting is a real life practice. It's not just that you learn to manifest and then life is perfect. You're always going to be met with challenges, obstacles, rejection, but it's how you interpret them and how you show up to them and persist through them that really determines where you end up. And so this is about reframing the way that you look at challenges and being able to take meaning and value from them and actually see them as tests. And the test really is the universe asking, how worthy do you really think you are? Are you going to settle for less than you deserve or give up at the first hurdle? Or are you going to stay strong and know that what you really desire is coming? Step five is embrace gratitude. Gratitude is another thing that I think gets overlooked when it comes to manifesting, because I think people think manifesting is just about more, but actually it's about making the life that you already have feel as good as possible. And there's so much research on gratitude and then the power of it. There was that great experiment by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which showed where he got participants to practice gratitude 3 times a day for 4 days in a row. And what he found was that their immune system strengthened by 50%. And I really loved when I first saw that and heard about that experiment, because I realized that the power of our mind is not just changing how we feel, but it's changing our actual physiology. There's a real impact on it. And gratitude is amazing for sleep, depression, anxiety. It's incredible. I always say, look, if you guys didn't listen to anything I said, but you just started practicing gratitude, you would see a shift in your life. And from a manifestation point of view, gratitude puts you in such an abundant mindset, and so you will attract more abundance back to you. Step 6 is turn envy into inspiration. Envy is a very low vibrational emotion that comes from a scarcity mindset, a place of lack. And the antithesis of this is inspiration. It says that you have something and I can have it too. There's enough for us all. And is really reflective of that abundant mindset that we need to manifest. And then step 7 is trust in the universe. And this is about surrender. It's about not obsessing over our goals. You know, a big mistake people make with manifesting is they become obsessed, and that obsession very easily turns to desperation. And desperation comes from that fear and doubt that we mentioned in step 2. And so the trick is to know what you want, work hard, you know, believe you're worthy of it, work hard to make it happen, but also just surrender and trust the process that will lead you there. If you're sort of constantly trying to control every moment and every twist and turn, and you step into that you kind of desperate energy, I really think you block yourself from receiving. I think that if you have somewhere in mind that you're trying to get to, like you have a goal in mind, or you know who you want to become, I think on that sort of journey, you can't be constantly trying to avoid things that make you uncomfortable or that don't feel good, because although we kind of do want to avoid pain or internal discomfort, we have to learn to embrace it. So for example, you know, if, you know, I can only speak for myself, but if I, on this journey, decided that I was going to avoid discomfort, I would never have done any podcast ever. I would never have stood on stage. I wouldn't have released my books. I would have been worried everyone hated it. You know, there's all these things I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have gone to therapy. I wouldn't have had difficult conversations with my partner to improve my relationships. You know, there's all sorts that I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have, you know, gone to the gym, you know. So I think it's, you know, an important part of growth is just being able to like sit with it. It's like, okay, take the gym example, you know, how sore you get after the first time you've been back at the gym after a big break. If that soreness put you off going back again, you would never improve. You'd never get any better or stronger. You know, you just give up and stay where you are. So you have to be able to sit through it to be able to get to the next step. I've never painted myself as the finished product, and I think that I've always been really honest with people. Like, you know, if I go through a rejection or if I'm having a hard time, or, you know, definitely, I mean, this year I've really turned a corner. Like I probably feel the best I've ever felt, but, you know, only a year ago I was, you know, 2023, when I released the second book, I basically had a breakdown for like 2 months. It was pretty bad, and, you know, it was still part of the journey, and I was honest about that. So I think there's that, but I think, you know, I feel incredibly privileged to be able to help people, and I hope that I can inspire them. And I feel, yeah, it's I'm in a really lucky position where like I get so many lovely messages, and so I can see the effects of my work. And, you know, when I was saying about purpose, like everyone's got a purpose, I think I'm just really lucky that I get to see it so closely, whereas other people maybe like can't see that end journey. Even though, like, how often have you had a product that's like changed your life, but you can't share it with the person that made it, or was in the factory making it, or that was, you know, selling it to you, or that was doing the marketing for the brand? Like, you can't thank every person. So I just feel really lucky that I'm in a job where I get such direct feedback, and it's definitely a privilege, and I hope that I can, you know, keep doing it.